Knicks, Pacers, Eastern Conference Finals. The first time both of these teams have been there in over 20 years. And we got a preview on today's show. We'll go in depth, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win this series at the tail end of today's video. But first, if you want to beat the Pacers and get to the NBA Finals, Knicks fans, go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. We did this on last year's video, where the Knicks unfortunately lost to the Pacers in round 2. We got to 1,000 likes on that video. We got to beat that because we got to beat the Pacers this year. So if you want to dethrone the Pacers and go to the NBA Finals, go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Welcome into Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for being here, and I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. Apologize for no videos going out on Saturday or Sunday, but I was just enjoying the win and really just resting and getting ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. I was exhausted after that series, as I'm sure the New York Knicks were, but we're locked in, and we're going to have videos out every single day until the end of the playoffs. Brunson, Haliburton, a rematch from last year. Let's start with this. This is the series schedule for the New York Knicks, and like we showed you at the beginning of the show, the Knicks are minus 140 to win this postseason series, whereas the Pacers are plus 120. So Vegas is telling you the Knicks have a slight advantage, but it is essentially a coin flip series. This series will be played every other day. The 21st, the 23rd, the 25th, the 27th, the 29th, the 31st, and the 2nd. So not a lot of rest time, and really we're going to be getting after it every single other day. Here are the Eastern Conference Series odds. The Knicks winning in a sweep, plus 1,000. Winning in 5, plus 475. Winning in 6, plus 600. And winning in 7 is plus 400. The Pacers to win in a sweep is plus 1,000. The same as the New York Knicks. For the Indy to win in 5, that would be plus 800. The second lowest odds, though, outside of the Knicks winning in 7 games, is the Pacers to win in 6 games at plus 425. And the odds makers believe if this goes 7, the Knicks are going to win, as they are plus 700. I know a lot of people think this is going to be an easy series, and there's other people that think the Pacers are going to win very easily. I'll just make this abundantly clear from my perspective. This is going to be a dogfight. This is 2 teams ready to battle it out. A Knicks team that's trying to get revenge from last year. A Pacers team that is going to continue to try to be a Haliburton over Brunson type of propaganda machine. And we got some history as well on the line. There have been plenty of battles in the playoffs between the Knicks and the Pacers. And the last time both these teams made the Eastern Conference Finals was when the Pacers ended up winning that series in 6 games, where they went on to lose in the NBA Finals to Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. The regular season series, I'll just start with this. In our round 1 preview and round 2 preview, we went game by game and we showed you a box score of every single matchup. I didn't feel like that was necessary for this video, considering these teams played 2 times in the first 2 weeks of the NBA season, with the Knicks winning 123-98 and the Pacers winning 132-121. And then back in February, on February 11th, the Knicks won 128-115. Miles Turner did not play in that game. And I also think there were some more injuries for Indy. I was actually at that game in Indianapolis. That was a lot of fun. But the Knicks and Pacers are way different teams from what they were back on November 10th. And this game, there was injuries for Indy. And Indy has really changed who they are throughout this season. Through the first 63 games of the year, they were 35-28. They had their ups, they had their downs, and they were just an inconsistent ball club. But they closed the regular season on fire. I think they were 15-4 in the final 19 games, and they're 8-2 in the 10 postseason games they've played. So 23-6 over their last 29 games. They're one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now, and the New York Knicks are going to have their hands full in this matchup. So excited about that one. I do want to say the Pacers, they ended up beating the Bucks in round 1, and they ended up beating the Cavs in round 2. I don't want to make excuses. I'm just painting the picture for you. The Bucks were injured. Damian Lillard did not play. The Cavaliers, they were injured. Mobley missed some games. Garland missed some games, and other players missed some games. But they were 8-2 in the playoffs, and they're coming in hot, and they are ready to take down this New York Knicks team. New York fans, they hate the Pacers. Pacers fans, they hate New York Knicks fans. This one is going to be a lot of fun, so get your popcorn ready. I want to know, who do you think wins this series? Who do you got? Who is going to the NBA Finals for the first time in 20-plus years? Is it the New York Knicks? Is it the Indiana Pacers? Sound off for me down in the comment section. All righty, my keys to victory if the New York Knicks want to get to the NBA playoffs. First and foremost, play your game. Dictate the pace. Control the style of basketball. And force the Indiana Pacers to play your brand of hoops, just like you forced the Boston Celtics to play your brand of hoops. The Boston Celtics wanted to chuck threes after three after three with rotation and ball movement. The Knicks forced them to play a half-court series where they had to take off-the-bounce mid-range jumpers. That's not what they do. And if the Knicks can control the pace and style of this series, they are going to move on. Completely different teams in this series. The Indiana Pacers are one of the highest-paced, best efficient offense, especially in the playoffs. Right now, the Pacers are averaging 117 points per 100 possessions. They are outscoring their opponents by 5.5 points per 100 possessions. They have a 99.27 pace. So they average almost 100 possessions per game, and they are shooting the lights out from three. The Knicks a little bit slower of a pace. They're also not shooting nearly as well as the Pacers are from three. Their offense isn't as potent as Indy, averaging 110 points per 100 possessions compared to 117. And the Knicks are only outscoring their opponents in the playoffs by 0.1 points per 100 possessions. So you have the Pacers, who have dominated and have had a dominant postseason run, and the New York Knicks are coming in where they have just played better in the fourth quarter than their opponents in the first two rounds. One thing that's really important in this series is the Knicks have to be able to score in the half court. Yes, they can run and gun. Yes, they can get up and down, and sometimes the Knicks look their best when they're playing an up and down series. But I don't want you to fall into the trap of playing the Pacers brand of hoops, because if the Knicks have to play a run and gun series for all 7 games, if necessary, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. The Knicks don't push off of makes. The Knicks don't push off of misses all that much. When the Knicks get out in transition, it's when their defense is turning to offense. Whereas Indy, Jalen Brunson will make a three, or Karl-Anthony Towns will make a hook shot in the paint, and they're going to look to inbound the ball and play a brand of 7 seconds or less type of hoops. So if you're going to slow down the pace of play, you got to be good in the half court on offense. It's a huge series for Karl-Anthony Towns. You got to be able to score in the half court against Miles Turner, and if they dare put Thomas Bryant on you, you better do what you did back in February, which was absolutely dominate that matchup. You also got to dominate the glass. That is one of the major green check marks when you compare these teams from top to bottom, is the New York Knicks are a way better rebounding team. But the Pacers have shown that they can flex their muscles and be a physical ball club as well. So far through the playoffs, the New York Knicks are averaging 11.9 offensive rebounds per game compared to just 6.8 for Indy. And if the Knicks are able to generate second chance opportunities, they're able to control the glass, and they're able to end defensive possessions without having to give up extra offensive rebounds, they're going to win this series. And Mitchell Robinson needs to be just as good, if not better, than he was against the Boston Celtics, where he averaged 8 rebounds per game, north of 3.5 offensive rebounds per game, and 1.2 stocks per matchup. If Mitch is able to control the glass, make his free throws, Karl-Anthony Towns is able to play bigger than Miles Turner, the Knicks are going to have a much better chance of winning this series. Extra chance opportunities, finding a way to be able to create those are going to be key for the New York Knicks. So, Mitchell Robinson, you're one of my major X factors in this series. What you did defensively against Boston was awesome. We need you even better this series. Another key for me is how the New York Knicks are going to be able to stop and plan to stop the pick and roll, pick and pop offense that Indiana wants to run. They're going to run pick and roll after pick and roll after pick and roll. They have 3 guards who do it at an extremely high rate with extremely high efficiency. We know Tyrese Haliburton is one of the better half-court offensive generators in the league. He averages 0.98 points per possession in the pick and roll in the playoffs. Andrew Nembhard, I don't have to say much about him. I still can't believe the Game 3 shot that he hit last year that essentially gave the Pacers second life and an opportunity to win that series. 1.23 points per pick and roll as the ball handler. To put that into perspective, Jalen Brunson in the postseason is 1.04 points per pick and roll. And TJ McConnell not having exactly this type of postseason he did last year compared to this year. But am I going to be shocked if McConnell gets it going against the Knicks where he dominated that matchup last year? Not in the slightest. 5.6 possessions were ran in the pick and roll for Tyrese Haliburton, almost 4 for Nembhard, and almost 4 for McConnell. So they are going to do it time and time again. And the 2 guys that are mainly going to be setting the screens and getting downhill for Indy are Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam. Turner, 1.21 points per possession, almost 4 pick and rolls per game. And when he's on the floor, they do it at a frequency of 27.5. A little bit less on that front for Siakam at just 15.9, but still over a point per possession. If the Knicks cannot figure out a way to slow down the pick and roll, this series is going to be over a lot quicker with a different winner than we expect. Against Boston, they switched everything. Will they do that against the Indiana Pacers? We're going to find out. But Tom Thibodeau, it's on you to figure out a way to get this done. You were able to crack the code of Boston and their offense. Now it's time to slow down Indiana. They got the best of you last year. I know there was a lot of injuries, but you got to find a way to slow them down this year, or you're going to be, unfortunately, watching the NBA Finals from home. Another big storyline in this series is the New York Knicks starters versus the Indiana Pacers and their overall depth. The New York Knicks have 5 players averaging more than 35 minutes per game in the postseason. The Indiana Pacers have 0 players on their roster averaging more than 36 minutes per game in the postseason. We know their starting 5 is great, but what makes the Pacers so special is they can score in bunches, and they have a lot of players that can get it done. They run 9-10 off the bench at times, and they have 3 guys who can all fill it up. Benedict Mathurin, someone that I loved coming out of Arizona, is really becoming a special player in this league, averaging over almost 11 points per game in the postseason, shooting 47.6% from downtown. Shot better than 40% against the Cavs. Didn't shoot that well against the Bucks, so the percentage doesn't represent what he is capable of. But I think a lot of people are going to get to know who Benedict Mathurin is, and he's a damn good player. I don't have to say much about TJ McConnell. I still have nightmares about what he did to Deuce McBride last year. I need Deuce to take that matchup a little bit more personal this go-round. And Obi Toppin, he can score in a flurry. We've seen that up close and personal. He can light it up. They have 3 guys off the bench in the postseason averaging more than 8 points per game. Like, that is really the secret sauce for Indiana. They can score in bunches, and they have players that can get it done off the bench. And then in the starting lineup, Andrew Nembhard is a really damn good player, and he loves to play the New York Knicks. And Aaron Nesmith is having one of his best runs as a player in this league. He's shooting better than 50% on catch-and-shoot threes in the postseason. He's been really good. He gave Brunson some fits last year. You'll see Nesmith on Brunson. You'll see Nembhard on Brunson. You might even see a little bit of Benedict Mathurin on Brunson as well. Those 2 guys are going to be impact players and maybe series changers for Indy. I need Deuce McBride to have a series. I believe Robinson's going to be able to be effective. If they put Thomas Bryant on Mitchell Robinson, he will dominate that matchup. But I need Deuce to be able to go toe-to-toe with a TJ McConnell, be able to neutralize maybe an Andrew Nembhard when he's on the floor. Deuce McBride was awesome in that Boston series, averaging 8 points per game, shooting better than 50% from downtown, over 51% from the field. Deuce was awesome. And it's time for him to get his lick back. I thought he got kind of played off the floor in that series versus Indy. We need him to show up and show out. And as always with the New York Knicks, and I do these playoff previews, is clutch time hoops. Keep it close and give Jalen Brunson the ball when the game is on the line. There's going to be games where probably the Knicks get blown out this series. There could also be a game or two in this series where the Knicks blow out the Pacers. But I expect a lot of clutch time hoops when a game is within 5 points or less, with 5 minutes or less in the ball game. The Indiana Pacers have been really good in the clutch in the postseason, as have the New York Knicks. You look at Jalen Brunson and what he's done in the playoffs. He has been arguably the best player in the playoffs. 43 points for him. No other player in the playoffs has averaged, or no other player in the playoffs is close to what he's done in the amount of points he's scored in that matchup. He's been great. 5 assists to 2 turnovers, shooting 41.2% from the floor, shooting 33% from downtown. When he's on the floor in the clutch, the Knicks are outscoring the other teams by 35 points. But Tyrese Haliburton has been really good in the clutch as well. 20 points for him. He's also 4 assists to 0 turnovers. 46.7% from the floor, 40% from downtown, and he's got 2 game winners, and the Pacers are 5-0 in the clutch in the postseason. The Knicks are 6-2 in the postseason. So whatever team is able to get it done in the clutch in the series is going to be able to move on and play in the finals. I'm always going to take our guy, though. I'm always going to take number 11. Jalen Brunson's going to find a way. All you got to do is keep it close. Keep it a one-possession game when there's 1 possession left, and I'll ride with the captain of the Knicks. I also want the Knicks to take this matchup personally. Tyrese Haliburton was on the Olympic roster last year. Jalen Brunson was not. Mikal Bridges was not. Josh Hart was not. All of those players were on the 2023 summer roster. As you could see, you see Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart watching Tyrese Haliburton. And Brunson, they chose Haliburton over you. Mikal Bridges, they chose Haliburton over you. Josh Hart, they chose Haliburton over you. Oh, and they ended your season last year in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, scoring 39 points in the first quarter, a Game 7 record. So not only did Tyrese Haliburton get chosen to represent America in the Olympics over you, they also ended your series and season, and they sent you home. I want there to be a little bit of spite, and I want there to be a chip on their shoulder. You need Jalen Brunson to go. You need Mikal Bridges to go. You know Giannonobi to go. The matchups, the storylines, this series is going to be awesome. Will Brunson outplay Haliburton? Will Mikal Bridges be able to guard Haliburton? How will OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam stack up? What about Brunson versus Nembhard and Nesmith? And, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns and Miles Turner with Rick Carlisle and Tom Thibodeau going head-to-head. This is an awesome series, and we are in for a good one. Hopefully it ends with the New York Knicks winning. If you want that to happen, hit that thumbs up icon. Like this video. We got to get more than 1,000 likes on today's show. So if you want to get back to the finals for the first time in 25 years, hit that thumbs up icon. A lot of people are telling me the Knicks are going to lose this series. And I love that because they also told me that the Knicks had no shot against the Boston Celtics. I don't feel confident in the sense of Knicks in 6. I just feel confident the Knicks are going to win this series. I could see them winning in 5. I could see them winning in 6. I could see them winning in 7. And I see a very obvious way the Indiana Pacers win this series. But I'll pick the Knicks, and I'll go in 6. But I also think they can win in 5, where they win the first 2 games at home. They steal one at Indy, and they close it out in 5. Don't be surprised if the Pacers win Game 1. They may catch you off guard. I don't want the Knicks to be riding the high of what they did against Boston. Indy can score quickly and very efficiently. So be ready to play. Protect home court. And let's win the damn series. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow on both of those platforms. I'm tweeting. I'm posting. A lot of stuff about the Knicks over there. So give me a follow, and if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be live for every single game of this series on the channel with hour-long pregame shows, and I want to see you there. Let's go Knicks.